Hey everyone, I just wanted to pop in before we really start this video to let you know that the SJT clubs are open now for a limited time. So that is the literacy club, the math club, and the writing club, as well as the bundle where you can get all three together. They are all open, so if you want to join or have any questions, the link and all the information is down in the description. All right, let's get started with the video. Good morning, happy Monday. Tomorrow is October. Crazy to believe that it is already October. It is definitely sweater weather, which is really exciting. I figured this week for the video, tomorrow we have open house, we have our universal testing this week, so I think I'll just pop in a few days and kind of tell you what we are up to, starting with today. I already changed seats. Every month I change seats for students to get used to working in new groups. So I already did that. I got my copies ready for the week, and I think I will pop in a little bit and kind of share some of what we are up to because we're starting some new skills this week in both phonics, writing, and math. So I'm going to make sure everything's ready for the kids, and then I'll pop in a little bit later. Hello, popping in from after school. I am getting some stuff ready for open house, so I just wanted to put a little bit of that together before I scoot out of here in about 5 minutes. But I figured while I was here, I will share with you some of the activities we did today. I think I mentioned this earlier, but we are starting our CVC words in Foundations. I'm so excited to move on from just the sounds and letter review to actually, blending them together to make words. So we do our letter review first, we do the vowel extension, and then this is where we teach students how to tap out the sounds that they hear and blend them together to make words. So mat, rag, mop, and I do sound by sound. So sometimes I'll also teach them, we have l, slide that together, leg, leg. And then we continue through about 10 of these. And then I had students take out their magnet boards, and we practice tapping CVC words and actually building them on their magnet boards. Then I had students practice a little spin, say, and spell with a partner. I'll insert some pictures here in the corner. But students just got a chance to kind of extend that practice, and instead of just building it with magnets, they actually got to write down the letters for each of the sounds. After phonics, we go into writing, and in writing, students have already been able to, they've learned how to write sentences, how to write more than one sentence, what a sentence should have. So now we're kind of going into coming up with ideas and all of that, those types of lessons. So today our goal was to brainstorm different ideas and share that we all have stories to tell and that we can write about all different things. So we read Ralph Tells a Story. It's just a funny little story about Ralph who feels like he can't write about anything but ends up writing about a bunch of different ideas. And then all together as a class, we kind of brainstorm some ideas of things we can write together. And then they go off and they have to write for 10 minutes. So it was nice. It was funny to see what types of stories students chose to write about. Some wrote like facts about animals they love. Others made a fantasy story. Some wrote about like a video game. They really had free reign to just sit and write for 10 minutes using those foundational skills we already learned. So making sure they go back and make sure they have capitals, punctuation, that their story makes sense, and really practicing all those spelling strategies, because that, of course, is still the hardest part 21 days into school on first grade, where they have ideas they want to write, but they can't spell them just yet. So tapping out those sounds and just having them spell it to the best of their ability. I moved over to the back because I think I'm going to put all of the parent things that we're passing out for open house. I think I'm going to put them in a folder for them, since over the summer I ordered way too many of these anyway, and it's a little easier for them to carry out. I think tomorrow morning I'll go over what I'm doing for open house. I'll go over my slideshow and what I'm sharing, what I'm sending home, and things like that. But I wanted to talk about math real quick while I go ahead and do this. So for math today, we talked about story problems. So we've been doing addition within 10, so students have learned how to use number bonds, how to count on, how to use manipulatives. They've learned a bunch of those different strategies to add numbers together. And today we talked about just what a story problem is, how we can look at an image and make a story problem, how we can solve a story problem, and all that fun stuff. We actually did this really cute, I just mostly like walked through the slides to teach this and just came up with ideas, asked the class for ideas, and then we would look at an image and come up with a story, and then I would show it using an addition equation to solve it. And I would also show it using a number bond so they could kind of see it in both ways that we've been practicing. But we also looked at just an equation. So we had like 3 + 2 = 5. And then I had students just come up quickly with a story problem that could represent that equation. So they shared it with partners. And then with one of them, 3 + 2 = 5, I actually gave them a blank piece of paper. And I think it was like a 7-minute timer with music on the board. And they had to illustrate their story problem, which was really, really cute. I'll put some pictures here. And then at the end, they got to go ahead and share it with a partner, and they're taking it home to share with their parents tonight. But that was just a fun way to kind of extend the story problems. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this. And then also, I think I already said this morning, but tomorrow we have our testing day all day. Our fall assessments and seeing how, or fall benchmarks rather, to see how students are doing. We use M-Class, and we also, for English language arts, and then we use Ames Web for math. So we'll be doing that all day tomorrow. We do it in one day, kind of get it all done. We have a little system for that, but I'll talk more about that tomorrow. For now, I'm going to fill up these folders and head on out of here. So if I don't say goodbye later, I'm saying it now. Hello, popping in. It is actually Tuesday afternoon. I am here with my triple espresso. This is going to keep me up all night. Don't know if that was a good choice or a bad choice just yet. But I am here at school because we have open house night tonight. So we just finished up our whole day. Our day today was testing day. I explained this a little bit last year and people found it interesting, so I'll quickly explain it again. But for our screenings, we have one in the fall and winter and spring, just like most teachers. But we do it all in one day. And the way this works is we have our literacy coordinator, as well as our math coordinator, as well as our literacy teachers or interventionists and math interventionists. And we kind of divvy them up. So first grade is doing all of theirs this week, and 2 classes went today. So what we were able to do is the team was able to split up. So I have some literacy teachers in my class. The other class that was testing had some literacy teachers, and then same with math. So there's a couple teachers in each room. I do a little bit of the assessing as well. And then throughout the day, students basically go back and forth between a paper activity and then an iPad activity. And I can show you what that looks like in a minute, so you're kind of understanding the way that the day works. And it is a long day, but it's nice to kind of just get it all done on one day. It's testing day. We tell our kids it's a little bit of a ziggle-zaggle day, so they're not going to be doing their normal activities. Instead, they're going to be following what's on the smartboard for their schedule, and that teachers will be working with them. Also, they have to be, quiet for most of the day, so we make sure to give them extra recess and kind of brain breaks and stretches as they need. So while it is a long day, it's kind of a nice little system that gets it done right away, and that way we are basically assessing all the first graders within about 3 days, 4 days with makeup. And what that means is we're getting an accurate assessment of kind of where they're at. Because before, when we had to really stretch it out and students would go, we were assessing one student maybe 2 weeks before another student. And as you know, if you're a first grade teacher, we teach so much, especially in phonics and that beginning math, that we're it's not comparing apples to apples type thing. So even though it is a long day and kids were exhausted today, I'm exhausted, I prefer this way to just kind of get it done and get it out there. But yeah, so now I have my literacy committee meeting in about 5 minutes. So I got a coffee and then I have open house. So let me show you, I'll show you those slides real quick. Then I'll have my meeting, and then I'll probably have about a minute or two to show you what is on their desks for open house night. So that'll be the plan. We had our regular morning meeting. So everybody came in, they had their toys and kind of slow start to the day, lunch choices. Then I'll skip through this morning meeting. And then basically each kind of half an hour schedule looks like this. So they just did a quick little CVC activity where they had to cut and paste, match the words to the pictures and color in the little pumpkins. And then they could hop onto their iPad. In Clever, I had linked a directed drawing of how to draw a dog. So nothing super academic heavy, just a little break after that. And then I have a nice little 30-minute timer with some calming music. Then the next one, I again linked a video of Giraffes Can't Dance, the book being read, and then they had to complete the sheet, The Power of Yet. I can't blink yet, but if I practice, I'll be able to. And then if they finish that, they go to Epic. So you can kind of see the system. We had snack and recess, a color by code, and then IXL. This one, kids were still finishing up their color with the color by code and all the other activities, so I ended up taking out what the other paper pencil was here, and they could do kings and queens if they had finished. So that is just what it looks like. It's kind of a little back and forth between, you don't want the iPads on them all day long, and you don't want so much just busy work. So I tried to do like an academic task that they should know how to do, a little bit of writing, and I kind of kept it with the day. So phonics time, we did that phonics sheet. Writing time, they wrote in that Power of Yet and kind of did an illustration. Math time, they did some math activities with what we're working on. And then they could go to their iPad to do some other activities. And then Win was exactly the same today. And then in the afternoon, I just had them write a letter to their parents because they're coming tonight. And then we just did an extra recess. So the morning was pretty busy. Afternoon, we kind of let loose a little bit and let them stretch and flex their brains. I don't even know what that means, but that's what I'm saying. So yeah, all right, hopping onto my meeting. I'll catch up with you after. All right, I had to skedaddle out of the literacy meeting. We finished up a little early, or we didn't finish up early. We had to leave a little early because our parents were coming. So the meeting's still happening now, but it is recorded, so I'll watch that later. I wanted to show you what we have on their desks and what we're doing for curriculum night or open house, whatever you want to call it. So let me show you my slides. Actually, first I'm going to show you what's on their desks. Okay, so on everybody's desk, we have a little note that their parents are going to write. And then I had them write a little letter to their mom or dad or whoever's coming tonight. This one wrote, "Dear Mom, one thing I love about school is recess." So they all picked something they love about school. Inside, let me move this out of the way. Inside, I'm just going to explain how I'm sending home the home to school connections for both math and foundations. This just lets them know with each unit kind of what we are teaching and gives them some ideas and activities. This is the invented spelling letter. I had written one a long time ago, and I can't find the original. This is a much longer one, but same kind of process, where I explain what first grade writing really looks like, how it changes throughout the year, how much they grow, and how we expect them to spell words after we've taught the patterns and not to worry about it at first. Then this is just like a first grade standards for ELA and math, just like at a glance. And then some Scholastic book clubs. I'll share how we will do that online. So that is all they're taking home. Not too much. I wanted to keep it easy. And then let me show you the slides. I just made these in Canva for this year. They're very similar to what I had last year, but we have a welcome to our classroom, meet me. This is where I explain where I went to college and my first teaching job out in Las Vegas. I have my family here. I explain some of our activities that we do and some things I like to do in my free time. It has already, gotten through that some parents already know that I am on YouTube, so I don't like to, hide it. I like to explain what I do over there and some of the things I like to do for fun. So I like to present for different teacher conferences. I have my YouTube channel and lots of other stuff that does not include teaching. Then I go over this slide always, my little wish for students this year, that they feel loved, supported, and seen, learn to persevere through challenges, build confidence, and can identify their strengths and weaknesses. Also is a kind, supportive peer and learns a lot at their own pace. Then we kind of walk through our schedule for the day. I invite parents to take a picture of this if they want. This can help, like if they're going to take their kids out for a doctor's appointment, if they want to know when a decent time to do that might be. We go over just a little bit about what curriculum we use. And then I can't show, obviously these all have pictures. So what I did is I basically want to take students or parents through a walk through our day. So each one has some bullet points, but they can see what we do in the morning, what we do during phonics with little just snippets of what I want to share and what we do in our classroom. During writing time, snack, lunch, and recess, some of those procedures, math, WIN, reading time, and social studies and science. So a lot to blur out there because it's all just pictures of the kids doing these activities over the last week, or over the last month, I should say. I talk a little bit about social emotional learning in the classroom, some arrival and dismissal procedures, how we use Seesaw, communication, how I will connect with parents. And then I talk a little bit about classroom management. We talk a lot about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, and just what I believe in my classroom and what I'm working with their students on. We go over the logical consequences. Homework, we do not give any homework here in this district, so I give them some ideas. Report cards and conferences, different ways they can help from home, as well as what we're working on in our classroom. So these are more like grade level wide and school wide. Do they need extra clothes? Can they advocate for themselves when they need to use the restroom? Please keep technology at home, all that fun stuff. And then this is like what we're working on in our classroom. So impulsivity, having responsibility with our classroom jobs and just taking care of ourselves and others, and trying our best. Birthdays, we talk about what happens in birthdays. Please only send invitations if everyone's invited. Ways to join us in the classroom, and then a little Scholastic Book Clubs because they are in their folder for them to order online. And then actually, one of the other teachers here, who was my own son's first grade teacher, has this little quote that I absolutely love. So this is kind of how we end it. Popcorn is prepared in the same pot, in the same heat, in the same oil, and yet the kernels do not pop at the same time. Don't compare your child to others. Their turn to pop is coming. And then just a little reminder, any questions, leave a note for your child. And I put this here to remind me that picture day is tomorrow. So hopefully I remember to tell them that too. So that's what we do for open house. I'm going to get those slides up on the big screen. The parents should be here in about 15 minutes, so I'm gonna get it all ready. And I will pop in with you later in the week. And actually tonight, our team is going out to get dinner and a couple drinks after open house, which will be very fun. So I will see you probably tomorrow. I'll check in, maybe Thursday too. I'll see how long this video is and just share kind of what we're up to. All right, see you later. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is the day after our open house last night. Open house went great. I had a great turnout. I think it went well. I don't know. I always kind of black out when I get up there and just kind of go through the slides, introduce a little bit about myself, and I showed the slides to you yesterday. So walk them through the day. I think they enjoyed the pictures and everything. So I think it went really well. Had some chats afterwards, and yeah, I think it went great. Today, I am wearing my work pajamas, is what I call them. That's when I'm wearing like a loose tank top, a big sweater, and leggings and sneakers. Work pajamas, because I'm very tired. And I want to be very comfortable and cozy. I don't know about you, but if you teach first grade, I am like up and down on the floor. I'm all around, so I like to be as comfortable as I can be. I wanted to share kind of what we are up to today. Yesterday, you already know, was our testing day. So ziggle-zaggle of a day. We were all over the place doing what we needed to do. So today we're kind of back to our regular routine, other than the fact that we have picture day. So we will do that, I think, after writing, so it shouldn't mess us up too much. It should be easy enough, but let's take a look at what we are doing today. All right, slides are up. We start with our good morning slide, of course, lunch choices, morning meeting per usual, our message, a little review of our seat spots, and then it's Would You Rather Wednesday. So our two questions today are, would you rather play basketball or play soccer? And would you rather have a robot friend or an alien friend? So these will be fun to listen to. Haggerty, and then for phonics, let's see. Phonics, we are reviewing letter sounds, of course. We'll do our vowel extension. And then I do always explain why we're learning these. I explain that we're learning our letter sounds so we can blend them together to read, but also so we can segment them or take them apart so we can write. So we practice blending some sounds. S, it, sit, ah, p, mop. We do about 10 different words, all CVC, of course. And then for this, students are going to take out their whiteboards. And I'm going to just show the picture. They're going to repeat it after me. Map. They're going to tap it. P. And then they will try to spell it to the best of their ability on their whiteboard. When they do that, I will count down 3, 2, 1, and we will check it. If students have it correct, they will give themselves a pat on the back. If they don't, they'll just fix it real quick and then give themselves a pat on the back. So we do that with a few different words here. And then they're going to do this missing letter practice here. So they have to, again, look at the picture, tap at it, at, and figure out that first sound is missing. So they put it right there, trace the other 2 letters, and color in the pictures. Hello, it's actually now the end of the day. I finished, I think I told you about phonics, and then I had to do something. Somebody came to the door, I had to do something, and then we started our day. So now it's the end of the day. The day went great. Phonics went just like I explained. We did have our picture day, and that was fine. Trying to think. I'll go through the slides and kind of see where we left off. We finished phonics. Writing today, what we did in writing is we actually talked about why we write and all the different types of writing that we might see people do. So let me pull up those slides and I'll show you and kind of share with you what we did there. For writing, we always start with a warm-up. We are still doing the adjective warm-ups. I don't know if I shared this before. These are all my writing warm-ups. I have a ton of them, but this one is what is an adjective you could use to describe this picture. So some people said slow, shiny, cute. Shiny, they were talking about the shell. Smooth, I think somebody said. And I write them all around the turtle picture, and then we pick one of them to create a sentence. And then I write the sentence and we check it for cups, capitalization, understanding, punctuation, and spelling. And then here was our lesson. We will explore different types of text and why people choose to write. So I had everybody kind of close their eyes and think of a time they've seen someone at their home writing something. Now, a lot of them were kind of thinking like writing like we do in the classroom, and they're like, oh, nobody ever writes. But when I gave them some examples like making a grocery list, signing a birthday card, they're like, oh yeah. We talked about, when I brought up like emails and text messages, some of them were like, oh, well, I chat with my friend on Roblox or on Kids Messenger, and they were thinking of times that they type things out. So we were coming up with examples of when people actually write and how we have so many different reasons to write. And then what I had us do is we talked about why, that it's exciting. We have so many reasons why we write. We write to express ourselves. It's not always to just share stories. And then I showed students how to make a card. So I just took a blank piece of paper and I folded it in half. I shared that sometimes we write birthday cards and thank you cards, but you can also just write a card to say hello. So I showed them how to fold it, and then they spent about 10 minutes writing their own card. I do always, this is something that I highly recommend. It's a little tip. Before students go off to write, I always have them share their idea first. So who are you writing a card to? What do you want to tell that person? And what's an illustration they might enjoy? I have them do this. I have them turn and tell somebody on the rug. I actually, at this part of the year, when I pass out the paper, I have them tell me exactly what they're going to write about before they go off. This lets me know because it really cuts down on the, everybody goes back to their seat and like, I don't have anything to write. Like, yes, you do. We just talked about it. And then they went ahead and wrote for 10 minutes. And then we shared, of course. And actually, a lot of my friends were able to give their letters to other classmates or other first graders in the hall, which was really cute. For math today, we kind of continued our story problems lessons. I think I shared with you on Monday that we talked about what a story problem is. Students got to illustrate their own story problems, which was really fun. Today we talked more about the procedure that we need to solve a story problem. And actually one of my teammates made a really great anchor chart that we kind of walked through, so let me share that with you. This right here was actually the warm-up. We said there's 2 boxes of cookies. I just put like 2 trays here, and then these cookies are movable, and they were all on the side, so imagine that they're all over here. And I said there are 8 cookies in all. How many cookies could there be in each box? And first, all my students said, oh, there's 4 in this one, 4 in this one. So I showed them. I said, okay, and how would we, if we were going to put that as an addition equation, how would we say that? We were like 4 plus 4 equals 8. And then I said, wait, is there another way these cookies could be separated? And you can see all the ways we came up with. With each one, we talked about the flip-flop fact. Some people call it a turnaround fact, but I call it a flip-flop fact. Either way, we talk about how we can switch the add-ins here and that it still doesn't change the answer. So we came up with all the different ways we could show the cookies in the box. It was a great little warm up. All right, and then we talked about solving these real world addition problems. So I gave them this little problem here. There are 6 chickens on the farm, 3 ducks on the same farm. How many animals in all? And we said step 1 is we have to understand the problem. What is actually going on here? What do we need to solve? So we need to find, how many animals there are total. Then we can think of a plan. We could use a number bond to help me add. I could count them up however they want to do that. We're using the number bond as an example, but think of a plan to solve it. Carry out the plan. So we have 3 plus 6 equals 9. And then we can check the answer. So we can do this using cubes. We could also do this by going back and actually counting, crossing out each one, different manipulatives, however we want to, but we need to check it. So, these are the 4 steps. This is the little anchor chart my colleague made. It's just great of solving the real world problem. So then we just practiced a few of these. 2 blue fish in a tank, 4 orange. How would we carry it out? I had students kind of walk through the steps for each of these. I like including ones that have 0 too. There are no cupcakes on a plate. Isla puts 3 on a plate. How many cupcakes are there now? And then these 2 practice pages are just from Math in Focus. It's basically exactly what we were doing whole group. They're going to go off and do independently. Of course, since these are story problems, I did read them with everybody and then we kind of filled them out together. I do it up on the smartboard. I kind of fill them out here while they check it in their workbooks. Then it was just lunch and recess, win time, and win is always the same. We kind of rotate through our stations. And then we did our favorite lesson in the afternoon. We did do our EL lesson. We're still talking about the little red pen. Nothing really exciting to share there, so I want to flip the camera and show you because we started our little spot of emotions. So this is the anchor chart that I made, and we just started with our first one here, our little spot of happiness, and I gave every student their book, and then I sent them off for about 6 minutes to just color the cover of their book, which I'll show you in a minute. And then I had everybody come to the carpet. I sat in my blue chair, and I kind of introduced that we're going to talk about all these different emotions, and we're going to start with a little spot of happiness. So I read the book first, we talked about it, and then I always like to point out, and I think this is important, what our little spot of happiness looks like. What are the facial expressions of somebody who's happy? I see a big smile, I see wide open eyes. They look happy. And what does that look like? And then I wrote the word happy here, and we just came up with a few examples of when we feel happy. Playing with friends or family, riding my scooter, building forts, giving compliments. There were plenty of others, but I just wanted to write a couple up here, and we're going to extend it as we continue with all of the little spots, and our little spot will get filled in with each color. Let me grab one of the little books so I can show you kind of what that looked like. Here we go. I just want to cover up the name here, but this was just the cover. So when I told them that this is what we'll be doing, I just gave everybody their little book like this. It says my little spots of emotion. They could color it in however they wanted. So they could do rainbow colors, all one color, patterns. I don't care. However they want, make a nice little face. And then this one made a little sky, some grass down here. And then I'll show you the first page. So page 1, we go through each one and it says, I feel happy when I ride bikes. So they'll fill in the key word, which our little spot or our emotion today is happiness. So I feel happy. And this one said, when I ride bikes. And then they have to color in their spot to match the emotion. So again, that's why we talk about what the spot looks like. I should see a big smile, big happy eyes, and our spot should be yellow. So each day we will learn about a new one. We'll read it. I feel sad when, I feel angry when, peaceful, confident, anxious, all of those ones. And they will go ahead and fill it in. But I love this little project. This is a freebie of mine. I will link it down below. But it's a nice little kind of 8-day lesson. You just read each book and fill these out. So there you have it. Those are 3 days in the life. We're basically continuing the same stuff. Tomorrow, I will say we are introducing subtraction, and I'm going to introduce subtraction with my math teaching slides, this little packet right here. I think I mentioned this before. I used Math in Focus as our curriculum, and those slides that my colleague made go right along with the book. But every once in a while, especially when we're introducing a new skill, I will use my math teaching slides because they're just very direct and not as wordy. So I kind of use those. We will talk about what subtraction is. We will talk about kind of building and removing. That will be the plan for tomorrow. Introduce subtraction, how we're taking things away. and then I will use math in focus for the rest of it. So we kind of introduce it in a very concrete, hands-on way, and then I use math in focus to help kind of round out the discussion, offer some enrichment and some language in there because it's pretty language heavy, this curriculum. So that is coming up for math. Everything else is kind of staying the same for the week. Yeah. Any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down in the comments, as always. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.